Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I will cover the grounds of the judicial separation and divorce. In my previous video I have covered section 10 of the Hindu Marriage Act, which is dealing with the judicial separation. Okay, so if you have not watched that video yet, you can go and watch that video also. Okay, so today I will cover the grounds of the judicial separation and divorce. The grounds of judicial separation and divorce are common. Okay, so these are those grounds on which any of the parties to the marriage either can apply for the judicial separation or for the divorce. Okay, so section 13(1) of the Hindu Marriage Act is dealing with the common grounds of the judicial separation and divorce which are available to both the spouses. Okay, husband and wife, either the husband or the wife can apply for the judicial separation or divorce on any of the grounds mentioned in section 13(1) of the Hindu Marriage Act. Okay, and section 13(2) of the Hindu Marriage Act is dealing with the additional grounds of judicial separation and divorce which are available to the wife only. Okay, so on any of the grounds mentioned in section 13(2) of the Hindu Marriage Act, a wife can apply either for the judicial separation or for the divorce. So in this video I will cover section 13(1) of the Hindu Marriage Act. Okay, so section 13(1) of the Hindu Marriage Act is dealing with the grounds of the judicial separation and divorce which are available to both the spouses. Okay, so the very first ground which is mentioned in section 13(1) of the Hindu Marriage Act is the adultery. So on the ground of the adultery, the aggrieved person, the aggrieved party can apply for the either for divorce and for the judicial separation. Okay, so section 13 clause 1 subclause 1 of the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955 is dealing with the adultery as a ground of judicial separation and divorce. A petition for divorce or judicial separation can be presented before the court on the ground of the adultery. Adultery means when one of the parties to the marriage having voluntary sexual intercourse with any person other than his or his spouse, that act is considered as the adultery. So on the ground of the adultery, the aggrieved person can seek relief from the court and can go to the court and file a petition for the divorce judicial separation on the ground of the adultery. Okay, so but here, before granting the decree of judicial separation or divorce on this particular ground, on the ground of the adultery, the court will see that here whether the act of the adultery was voluntary or not. This is the first thing which court will see, that whenever the petition is filed before the court on the ground of the adultery, that whether the adultery, whether the act of the adultery was voluntary or not, whether the respondent was forced or compelled to commit the adultery or not, that court will see here before granting the decree of judicial separation and divorce whenever the petition is filed before the court on the ground of the adultery. Okay, so that is the first thing. The second thing is that the court will see that here that the act of the adultery should be a post-marriage lapse. Okay, so here the court will see that the act of the adultery should be a post-marriage lapse whenever the petition is filed before the court on this particular ground. That means the adultery should have been committed after the marriage, not before the marriage. Now what if the adultery is committed before the marriage and the petition is filed on the ground of the adultery which was committed by the respondent before his marriage? Okay, so that will not be considered as a valid ground. Okay, that is the second thing, that the adultery should be committed after the marriage. Okay, so adultery should be a voluntary act and also it should be a post-marriage lapse. That means adultery should have been committed by the respondent after his marriage, not before the marriage. If any petition is filed on the ground of the respondent's adultery which was committed before his marriage, and the court will not consider that adultery as a valid ground which was committed before the marriage by the respondent. Okay, so it is very important to note that whenever the petition is filed on the ground of the adultery, that adultery should have been committed by the respondent after his marriage, not before the marriage. Okay, if the adultery is committed after the marriage, then only the court will consider this as a valid ground, okay, for divorce or judicial separation. Okay, now what if the petition has been presented before the court on the ground of the respondent's adultery which was committed before the marriage? Okay, so here the petition will be dismissed by the court, and that petition will not be written by the court. Okay, so it is very important that adultery should be a voluntary act and it should be a post-marriage lapse, that the adultery should have been committed by the respondent after the marriage, not before the marriage. Okay, I hope this adultery as a ground of divorce or judicial separation is clear to you all. And yes, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Rest of the grounds of divorce and judicial separation will be covered in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this video.